I'm Mick Taylor. I was born on the 17th of January, 1949, in what was a little country town at the time, about 20 miles north of London, called Hatfield. I know my parents loved music because they used to, I think when they were dating, they used to buy each other records. So I think that, you know, they liked Frank Sinatra and Bing Crosby and Glenn Miller and stuff like that. In fact, my parents were wonderful. They really encouraged me to play music. And they actually took me to a concert when I was 9 years old. I went to my first rock and roll concert in 1957, and I went to see Bill Haley and the Comets.
Child, you gotta move. But when the Lord gets ready, you gotta move. You may be up, you may be down, you may be falling all over the ground. But when the Lord gets ready, you gotta move. You may be high, you may be low, you may be rich, child, you may be poor. But when the Lord gets ready,
I started playing guitar when I was about 10 years old. My mother's younger brother played guitar, and he played the music of that time, which was sort of skiffle, rock and roll. I mean, the music that was popular when I was a young child growing up in the 1950s was it was all American music. It was Jerry Lee Lewis, Elvis Presley, and of course that music really comes from black American, you know, blues. I wasn't aware, you know, one is not aware of those things when you're a child, but there was something about that music, there was something about the energy and the joy and the freedom that it expressed that touched me. In fact, the first instrument I ever played was the piano. My mother had a piano, and I used to sit there and play Three Blind Mice and any other little nursery rhyme I could pick out with one hand. And I suppose I must have had a little bit of musical ability. The blues is not all about struggle and hardship and suffering. I mean, it comes from that. You know, if you're talking about blues in a historical sense and about slavery and everything else. But in fact, for the early people that were playing blues, it was like a form of entertainment, a form of escapism, a form of release. It was a way of enjoying themselves, and there was just something about, I mean, the sound of the Chicago blues harmonica and the sound of the guitar and the way the guitar players that I heard, like Buddy Guy and B.B. King especially, the way they made the guitar sing. It was like it had a kind of vocal quality to it that was very, very exciting, very sexual, very sensual. Sensual is the word.
I'm going home. Feel like I'm going home. I said I feel like I'm going home. I'm going home. Feel like I'm going home. Seems like I should get back home.
There were a few clubs in London in the early 60s where you could actually hear that kind of music. There was, the old Marquee Club was one, and there was a club called The Scene, there was a club called the Flamingo Club was the one I remember most of all, because I used to go there on Friday night, stay up all night, and go home on Saturday morning. And that's where I heard, all this wonderful music, blues music. Not just blues, though, sort of soul music, Otis Redding, James Brown, that kind of stuff.